Origo News.
Tehran doctors report hundreds of eye injuries from gunshots in Iranian protests. Doctors in Tehran have reported a substantial rise in eye injuries, particularly from gunshot wounds, during the ongoing protests in Iran. These injuries have become one of the most prevalent among demonstrators, with many victims suffering severe damage to their eyes. Reports indicate that these injuries are not only widespread, but also highly targeted, with security forces aiming directly at the faces of protesters, causing a significant number of vision impairments and, in some cases, eye removals. An anonymous Iranian doctor described the situation in Tehran hospitals as a mass casualty event. Hospitals were overwhelmed with the influx of patients, many of whom had suffered gunshot wounds. The medical staff struggled to keep up with the demand for care, and the situation became even more complicated as the internet was shut down in the country, making communication and coordination more difficult. The hospital environment became chaotic as staff worked tirelessly to treat the overwhelming number of injured individuals. One doctor reported that there were 400 eye injuries, with each one serving as a painful reminder of the brutal tactics used against the protesters. Many of these injuries were to the eyes, and doctors noted that many patients lost their sight. The security forces appeared to be systematically targeting the faces and heads of protesters, aiming to permanently disable their ability to see. This approach echoes the tactics seen in previous years, further underscoring the deliberate nature of these attacks. The goal, according to the doctor, seemed to be not only to suppress dissent, but to erase the visual voice of resistance. Doctors were forced to make life or death decisions on a daily basis, triaging patients based on the severity of their injuries and the available medical resources. The strain on the hospitals was immense, with limited space and insufficient supplies to care for all the injured. By the end of one particularly difficult week, every available bed in the hospital had been filled, leaving little room for further casualties. The overwhelming wave of injuries caused a sense of hopelessness, and the doctors found themselves at the mercy of a system that could not keep up with the sheer volume of the wounded. As the protests continued, the scarcity of medical supplies became even more apparent. The hospitals were not only short of essential medications and equipment, but also struggled with overcrowding. The medical staff worked under extreme pressure, treating patients in makeshift conditions with limited resources. Despite these challenges, they remained dedicated to providing care for those who had been injured, although their efforts were often stifled by the overwhelming conditions in the hospital. A doctor recalled the heartbreaking experience of treating shivering protesters who had been left on the streets, their injuries worsened by exposure to the cold weather. Adding to the chaos, healthcare workers have also been targeted by security forces. Hospitals, once sanctuaries for the injured, have become battlegrounds where armed patrols arrest or detain injured demonstrators. Medical professionals are facing a dual threat, tending to the wounded while also fearing for their own safety. The strain on the medical community is profound, as doctors and nurses face the psychological toll of witnessing the suffering of their patients, while also fearing for their own lives and the safety of their colleagues. "My colleagues are very distressed, tired, and horrified," one doctor shared. "They are breaking down in tears." The sense of fear and exhaustion is palpable as medical staff continue to work under these extreme conditions. As the death toll continues to rise, doctors are increasingly concerned that the full extent of the tragedy is much higher than the official reports suggest. Tehran's hospitals are overwhelmed, and the medical system is struggling to cope with the ongoing crisis. Despite these challenges, doctors and healthcare professionals are working tirelessly to save lives, with many risking their own safety to care for the wounded. The situation remains dire, and the future of the medical community in Tehran looks uncertain as they continue to battle both the physical and emotional toll of the protests. The ongoing protests have become a symbol of the larger fight for human rights in Iran, and the medical community in Tehran has found itself at the heart of this struggle. As the protests continue to unfold, Doctors remain on the front lines, trying to provide care in an environment where resources, safety, and hope are in short supply. The resilience of healthcare workers is a testament to their dedication, but the growing crisis underscores the immense challenges they face in a country torn by violence and unrest.
Origo News.